Back Naked is yours truly, Pastor Stephen Harris. And listen, we're going to get this party started. And we want you to share, like, and invite Lottie Dottie and everybody. And we're going to get it started by a word of prayer. Lord God, how we thank you, praise, glorify, magnify, and lift you up. Lord, we thank you for all you've done and all you're going to do. We pray that this segment will be both uh, informative, inspiring, and impactful. And we ask all of these blessings in the awesome and matchless name of Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Hallelujah. Listen, um, we're just going to jump right in because I think this story is worth uh, embarking upon. And I have with us this morning, and I'm going to let her tell who she is so that you can get some backstory. She will. Uh, she listen. I don't have to do nothing but point at her, and she can roll. She can talk as much as I can. She missed her calling. She was a preacher.
I just try to live the right life, Pastor.
Introduce yourself to our audience who may not know you, and there are a lot of impactful things that you've done.
Well, thank you for saying that. I've been really blessed. I come from a family from the beginning of the origins of Natchitoches.
Right.
And
And who's that?
I'm a part of the Williams Avenue
Yes,
Williams,
yes,
the Prudhomme family
yes,
that started the whole thing
yes, yes,
back at the beginning of time.
yeah. Williams, Prudhoms, Britons.
And my father was a Briton, but he moved here with my mom,
Right.
who was a Williams. And he had two places he could have gone when he graduated law school. And he had met my mom
Yeah.
at the cafeteria, and they got married a year later. How cool is
And
that?
she turned his life around.
And she did. Well, most husbands and wives, when you get the right one, they do turn our lives upside down, don't they?
That's what you always say. My wife is probably up listening to this because you her girl. You know?
Oh, I love Tawana so much. Miss Harris will do anything for any child that comes to her, and I may be one of her children too.
Yeah, yeah, really.
Even though I'm older than she is. But I come from a long line, and my dad probably fell in love with my mom because of her giving spirit.
Yeah.
My father was exactly the same way.
Yeah.
In fact, when she finished LSU, she moved here with my dad, who was a brand new graduated from law school at LSU, and worked at the welfare department.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And my degree's in social work.
Oh yeah.
I'm the only one of the seven kids
Same with my wife.
that that works for love and not for money.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, let me tell you, you have a wonderful, blessed family, and I think all of you all get it from your parents to give back.
And I guess I really want to go back to my grandparents as well.
Yeah.
My grandfather was a judge here, Judge R.B. Williams.
Wow.
And I'm hoping I can say this, but my sister, Lala Brent Sylvester, is a judge here, followed right in his footsteps, and works out of his office
Oh
in the
wow.
courthouse.
That is amazing.
It is kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so you said all that tonight. What's your name, man?
Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, my name's Eliza Britton Berenson. I'm one of seven children here from Natchitoches, Louisiana. I've lived in many, many places. I've been blessed. Before finishing school, I took a little break. People talk about taking a sabbatical.
Yeah.
I just didn't know where I was, and I was going to school and wasting money and not going to class.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved a lot of places, and I ended up in Denver, Colorado.
Wow.
And after coming, then I came back to college and
Mhm.
finished college and went back to Denver. And that's where I met my husband. And we have
Yes.
two wonderful children.
Yeah.
Our oldest is a natural gas turbine mechanic, and he works
My.
projects, and
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot of
Yeah.
hard, hot work, but it pays really well because you have to be so specialized.
Right.
but he can work on any kind of engine. It doesn't have
Yes.
to be that.
Yeah.
And then my youngest, I don't know if you can see my shirt if you're watching on video. I am a proud Army mom. My youngest is in Poland right now. He's
Wow.
about to come back. He's been there for 8 months.
In Poland.
He's been teaching the Ukrainian soldiers the newest technology on drone warfare.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, they are very much connected, and well, also for those who don't know, you once led the Boys and Girls
I
Club.
did, and that's going to bring us to what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
It was the most fulfilling job I've ever had. Every day, I knew that when I went to work, I was going to have a great time because what I was doing was for other people and not for myself.
Right.
And every child that I met through that, and of course, every parent was amazing. Um, I got to learn a little bit about them and learn what it is to be young. And my children were a little older than most of those students because my kids were about middle school about the time I took over the Boys and Girls Club. And I stayed there for 7 years, the longest anybody had stayed up until that point.
Right.
And the only reason I left is I had breast cancer.
Wow.
And I kept getting sick because I was spending so much time with the students
Right.
that I kept getting sick and being put in the hospital.
Well, Miss Barrington, here's where we're at, and this is what we'll leap into. You're diagnosed with a breast cancer.
Stage 2B.
Stage 2. You uh, you are treated, recovered. Now you are a survivor.
I am cured, man.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
cured.
cured.
Praise
And
God.
you're using a word, cured, that's not used much in the medical profession.
I'm cured
They
until
say
I get it
stuff like-
again. That's
they
the
say-
doctors
they
have
say
said.
stuff
Until you
like-
get it again, you're cured.
Yeah, but they say stuff, and you remind me much of my father in that you've taken this thing, this bull by the horns, and said, listen, since you picked the fight.
Well, they started it. I didn't.
You picked the right one. So you're diagnosed, and you have a family history.
I do. Around I want to say 1988, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, but her breast cancer was totally different than mine.
Okay.
Mom's came about because at that time they were just kind of working with hormones and ladies taking hormones to make menopause not so miserable for them. And they said you should only take it for a certain amount of years. Well, my mother went 10 years over that certain amount of years, and that's what caused her breast cancer. Mine came, who knows why.
Right.
I really want to say a lot of it has to do with my diet and lifestyle at the time. I was raising 2 children. I was under an incredible amount of stress. They were, my youngest was in your son's
Right,
class at
right.
Hoover. And my son was in there because he was a special needs
Mhm.
child on the autistic spectrum.
Mhm.
And so there's that stress, and then the stress of raising what people would consider a normal child.
Mhm.
It's just hard. It's hard to raise children. So I was stressed out about that. I was not taking care of myself. I did
Right.
not eat right. I probably ate anything off their plate that they had left over. And I gained about 100 pounds by being a stay-at-home mom. And I'm pretty sure, reading everything I've ever read from very reputable places like breastcancer.org, that's the only place you should ever get any of your breast cancer information. Everyone else is trying to throw something else at you. Breastcancer.org.
Okay.
The science there is right on. There was every answer I possibly needed for every single thing I needed. Breastcancer.org.
So in 2003, your mother passes away.
Yes,
from
we had
breast
just been, we moved here in August. That's when we met in August of 2003. And 3 months later, my mom passed, and it was not beautiful.
Right.
It was a very, very sad passing.
Did she come and stay with you all?
No, so my mom passed. My kids never would have known her because she
Okay.
hated Colorado because
Okay.
you're so high you can't breathe.
Yeah,
the oxygen's terrible. So we moved here because my husband said, "Hey, it's easy, just as easy to move across town as it is across the country.
Right.
It's your turn to take care of your mom."
Right.
My 6 siblings had already done it for us,
Mhm.
and it was my turn.
Right.
I also had Ashton, which
Mhm.
is my son that is in the military, but
Yeah.
he's on the spectrum, guys. There's hope for everybody.
Hey,
And
talk about
uh,
it.
um,
I'm thankful about
and
it.
that's why I know I'm blessed. Um, but they got to know him. Then 5 years later, not 5 years, I'm sorry, 4 years later, my mother-in-law moved in with us from
Yeah.
Denver. We went
Yes.
up there and picked her up
Mhm.
and brought her to live with us
Okay.
in Natchitoches. Now, a few years after that, I would say about 6 years after that, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. At that time, she was kind of, again, Colorado.
Mhm.
And I do believe in Eastern medicine. It has been very good for me for car accidents, for mental health, and things like that. But she was trying to vitamin her way out of her breast cancer.
Right.
That's when I learned that the best medical treatment for breast cancer is what your doctor tells you to do.
Right.
I had lots of options. I chose because we had used Natchitoches Regional Medical Center
Mhm.
for certain things. I loved them. I thought they were amazing. There was nothing I liked better than the doctors that were there, my surgeon,
Right.
Dr. Bill Ball, and of course my sister,
Right. Right.
another one
Right.
of those amazing sisters, Dr.
Yeah.
Sissy Puku,
Yeah.
was there every step of the way for
Mhm.
me. But to back up a little bit, we went to a doctor who came from Shreveport and worked out of the hospital, and I literally watched my mother-in-law pass away in front of me.
And that was the thing, that experience. What did that?
So it made me realize that life is short.
Right.
It changed her mind. The chemo, and this is some of the things that they don't talk about. Chemo does change you.
Right.
You are not the same person when you come out the other side. And I'm not talking about the cancer part. I'm talking about the chemical reaction your body has. Um, but she, her journey, she didn't start chemo till really too late. She probably could have lived a lot more longer, but
Your mother or your
my
father?
mother-in-law, my mother's journey was hard. That is literally what I could talk to you about. My mother's journey is a whole different thing. We did a whole bunch of stuff in Germany that was amazing, but that's a whole nother segment.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
I could spend all day but I want to get the right names of all the stuff that we did in Germany to get it correct.
Right. Right.
So, my mother-in-law came. I watched her die in front of me. But in the meantime, and she passed away in 2000 in October 2016.
Mhm.
But in the meantime, around 2014, I was leaning over, putting on my bathing suit, and as our breasts do when you're a certain age, my breast brushed against my arm,
Right.
and I was like, "Oh, that's something hard there." And I'm like, "Ugh," and
They,
then I felt like,
they there. Right.
just something
Just
hard, kind of felt like
right.
a teeny tiny little pebble about the size of a lentil,
Okay.
like a little flat pea.
Yeah.
And I didn't think anything about it. I really didn't.
Right.
Well, I said something. I waited. I watched. This time, I'm watching my mother-in-law actively die of cancer.
Mhm.
As a mother, all of you mothers out there, we never put ourselves first.
Right. Right.
We're always a second thought. I'll get myself ready after everybody else. I'll go to the doctor after I've taken care of everybody else. Oh, I'm sick. That's okay. I'm going to get up and take care of everybody else. Well, that was kind of the way Southern ladies are raised.
Right. Right.
And so we took care of her, and it was not beautiful. But um, right after she passed, my husband felt the knot again, and it had grown.
He felt it.
I showed it to him
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
showed
he's
it 2 years ago, but I'm like, "Ah, it's nothing." And and of course,
right.
I love my husband to death, but because I wasn't worried about it, he's gonna take lead for me, and he wasn't worried about it.
Right. Right.
After that, I kind of said, "Gunnar, I kind of am worried about this."
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "Then you need to go see your sister."
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, she passed away in October. I made an appointment in December, 2 months later. Went and saw Sissy the day that that the office is closed before New Year's and Christmas, and went the to Sissy, being a doctor. Oh, we're just going to go check this out, but she kept going back to that same spot. And so this is how I knew it was scary.
Right.
I had an appointment the day that the hospital opened, or the surgery center in Alexandria opened for me to get a needle biopsy.
Mm.
And they did the needle biopsy. They sent it away. They sent it back to Dr. Bill Ball because I had decided at that time, if whatever it was, that's what I
Right.
was going to go see.
Yeah.
And I knew it was scary because my sister, who was my matron of honor in my wedding, I
Mhm.
adore Sissy,
Mhm.
came by my house every single day from the day that I went to her to see her about
Right.
this
Right. Right.
until we went to Dr. Ball's office
Mm.
2 weeks later. Came to see me every single day. And talk about what's it called when the doctors used to come to your house and see you instead of you having to go to their
Oh,
office.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I mean, talk about that
Right,
kind of
right,
service, right? She didn't charge me for it.
praise the Lord. Well, listen, uh, 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 looking back at that, what would you tell other women about listening to their bodies and not delaying medical uh, evaluations?
The biggest thing that ladies in the South have is we have friends. Tell your friends. Your husband isn't really going to know anything about it, but you're going to tell your friends, hey, I feel this. I promise you, if I told any one of my girlfriends that, hey, I had this, they would have got me in that car and made me go to the
Right,
doctor.
right, right.
But you tell your husband we're busy raising children. He, as soon as I actually acted like I was scared, he was like, "You're going to the doctor right now."
And that's the way we basically do, but
But
I'm a little different. I know if my wife came to me and said something, it's already it's
that's because Tawana doesn't complain.
so I know already this is serious.
Yes, sir.
You know.
So tell your friends, get their feedback, and then if any of them, even if they're just like, dude, just the you have most of us have a way to see a doctor. If you don't have insurance, you can go to LSU in Shreveport. They
Mhm.
will see you. There is a van that comes around. It's like an RV type
Right.
thing that does mammograms for people who don't have insurance or Medicaid or the Affordable Care Act.
Mhm.
There are places you can get a free mammogram. That is how you find this out.
Right.
I never had the mammogram. I never had the mammogram until they had already done the needle biopsy and they knew it was cancer.
So when do they suggest that a woman should start with mammogram?
I love that you brought that up.
Yeah.
Insurance says a woman of my age, maybe once every couple of years. But now medical advances, and not even advances, medical brilliance says, a woman of a certain age, especially somebody who's had cancer,
Right.
my insurance does not cover it for every year. And I'm a
Does
cancer
it?
survivor. No, I have to pay. It only covers it once every other year.
Oh, come on.
So now I say that, but we changed insurance.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
It's
past year, my husband's company changed insurance, so
okay.
now they do
Okay.
they do
Okay.
do it for every year. But my doctor would have to order it, whereas but with the other insurance, whereas if you feel like you need a mammogram, your insurance should cover it, especially after 40.
Mhm.
Women over 60, we get it. But I was God, how many years ago? That was 2006. That was 10 years ago.
Mhm.
So I was 50 years old.
Mhm. Mhm.
No one was expecting a 50-year-old who I was in the prime of my life. I just started being super healthy. I was in the
Right.
gym. I had a
Right.
trainer. I worked out with 5 or 6 of my girlfriends.
Yeah.
We were raising very successful students. I wasn't stressed out of everything. I was so excited about, what was happening at my children's junior and senior years of high school. The stress was off of me.
Yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact,
Love my job. Yeah. Yeah, I loved my life was
I
great.
remember. I remember when it all hit, and I was like, no.
So
And
you just never know. And
right.
it wasn't a takedown. It wasn't, oh my goodness, we're so worried about you. I'm like my dad, and in fact, I even have a yellow notepad over here. You get out your yellow, excuse me, your yellow legal pad. You write the pros and the cons on
Yeah.
either side and say, this is what we're going to do. And that was the craziest thing. I walked in after my sister walks in and Actually, this is the best story. I
Yeah.
walk into Dr. Ball's office and his beautiful wife, Shay, works in his office as
Yeah.
well. And she walks out and starts crying. I'm like, we're so sorry. I'm like, oh my, okay, can I cuss on this? Okay.
No, no,
Okay.
okay.
OSHIT.
It can slip, but
Oh,
okay.
like I caught myself. And I said straight out, oh, SHIT, I have cancer. That's how I found out I had cancer. It was the best way. It was somebody who cared about me, who loved me, who I loved too, and she was so concerned about me. And that was what exactly like you said. People
Yeah.
were so concerned about me.
Yeah.
And I walked in and I said, Dr. Ball, after he gave me some stuff, I said, just cut them all off. And he goes, and if you know Dr. Ball, he's so not demonstrative
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
very low emotion.
Yeah.
And he goes, whoa, sister, we don't do that anymore. And I was like,
Yes.
really? I mean, there are options out there.
Yeah.
That gigantic lumpectomy.
Yeah.
You cannot tell. I mean, I haven't done any other reconstruction.
Right.
I'm super
It's
healthy.
amazing.
I'm super healthy.
Yeah.
I get my blood tested once a year just for cancer. But I'm going to tell you something that doesn't happen. And I hate to say it, be a negative Nelly here.
Mm.
One of the things that people don't tell you about chemo is it does wreck your body.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
now,
especially chemo.
yeah,
But there are some things that is much more effective than chemo because you're doing the right things. You cannot medicate yourself back to health.
but
You've got
chemo, if
to
you have
actually,
cancer, that's your only choice.
yeah, yeah.
For the cancer that I had, it
Right,
never would have gone away. And
right,
I had an 89% chance of being cured, not survivor, cured
right.
with that chemo.
Which really is uh
Versus a 30% chance of just surviving.
poison being put in your body and praying that your other organs will survive it. But again, you're different. They say that you can tell who's going to survive chemo and things depending on the attitude of the person.
Attitude is everything.
And your attitude has always been positive, uplifting, and thing. We're gonna take a break, and I want to talk about facing treatment.
Oh, that'd be great. Okay.
Yeah. Facing treatment, and we've already talked a
You could
little
take
bit.
those headphones off if you want.
I I feel like I've been on here an hour already.
So,
Okay.
yeah, you rolling well.
And I love that you're okay with me pushing back on you about the
Yeah,
chemo.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I mean, we're having a conversation.
Listen.
And look, if it's about politics, I
And then
push
let me
back
tell
too.
you
And
something.
people don't do that. They yell at you
Listen something.
instead.
So I'm not against chemo. I
Mm,
just want folks to
there are
understand
options.
chemo, you're right, it wrecks the body. You need to understand. Now, for some folks,
Well,
uh,
like my brother-in-law, all he needs is radiation. Why would he do chemo if he only needs radiation?
right,
Um, and I do want to talk about that.
yeah,
But I had both. And when people say, one cancer is worse than the other, no, the C word's the C word. I don't want to talk about that because I want the emotion about talking about the C word.
right,
Um, and I don't talk about having cancer. I talk about being sick. When I was sick.
right.
Because when you say cancer, people automatically look at you
That's-
differently. When you say I was sick, oh, well, maybe she had pneumonia or
Right. Well, they just think it's a death sentence when you talk about my daddy defeated cancer 9 times, and when he died, he didn't die from cancer. And we are back. So you're facing treatment. Uh, what's all of the options?
so after
Are there any options?
okay, so after seeing Dr. Ball and he said, hey, we don't do that anymore. He gave me my options. I could the best one was I can have a lumpectomy
Mhm,
that won't be the same size.
mhm,
And that if I wanted to later, we could go ahead and reconstruct them so they're the same size and they look the same.
mhm.
Or I could remove the whole breast, which at this time and with the technologies that we have today, you don't have to do that. Or I could try to just, do radiation and chemo and see if it'll go away, which was not an option because that's a 100% death sentence. That's the kind of cancer I had.
Right.
Um, and it was weird. And the reason that my cancer was so dangerous is that it was a lentil 2 years ago. And then when I noticed it, it was the size of probably a small English pea.
Wow.
And then by the time they took it out, it was the size of a walnut. And that was just 2 months later.
Wow.
It had started growing once they did that needle biopsy. So maybe if I would gotten hit or something, it just started growing.
So once they did the biopsy, it just went crazy.
It just decided, and I don't know if it was growing, like babies grow, just, time the way it works, but it grew from just being about a pea size to being the size of a walnut.
Had you changed your diet by then?
I love that you asked that. And that when I talk about being healthy when all this happened, um, my girlfriend, who was my trainer at the time, Sarah Ziegler, whose husband is John Ziegler, who's the chiropractor here.
Right, right.
They're all about health. And
Yeah.
she had been trying to push me into healthier living. And I had taken out a lot of things that were unhealthy.
Sugar is like what the Pac-Man, when you used to play Pac-Man, listen, when you give cancer sugar, oh, it's just
I love that you're saying that because while I know that that's true, because for me personally, that's how I'm so healthy today. Not everybody's going to believe you.
well,
But am I okay? So my my friend Sarah Ziegler, and so she's like, Lisa, these are the things that you have to do. And I was going to Dr. Ziegler for my back because I'd been in a car accident in 2000 and still had never, still, old,
right,
bones.
right.
And our children's junior year, I finally said, I'm ready. I'm ready. So I didn't really go and start working out in the gym, but I joined a gym
Mm-hmm.
and I
You
went
can't go
once.
gym.
I went
Can't
once
go
because
gym.
our oldest child was a junior, but then I hired Sarah. That's that the my child's senior year. I hired her. And again, I worked at the Boys and Girls Club. And this is part of the reason why I ended up having this healthy mindset. Part of the Boys and Girls Club doctrine is healthy lifestyles.
Right. Y'all got a grant, same grant we got, a healthy lifestyle.
Healthy lifestyles.
Eating good, exercising, moving.
And how different things affect you differently. I mean, you can't have a clear mind to work with children or to be positive if you're not feeding your soul and your mouth with things that are healthy.
Right.
And and if you look, you talked about sugar. There's nothing wrong with having that, that Twix bar. Oh my gosh, once a week.
Right,
Nobody's
right.
telling you not to do that
Right.
because life's just too short for you not to enjoy
enjoy.
some of the things.
And
But
that's great substitutes too.
Right.
One being honey,
oh yes,
natural honey.
yes, and the
Yeah.
natural honey
hmm
is the best. Just don't give it to an infant.
Right, right, right.
So for me, I started working out and I'd heard about this program called Ideal Protein. And I don't even know if it's around anymore.
Okay.
But it was giving you, it's like a Jenny Craig
Okay.
or an Atkins type diet. If Atkins, if you buy the bars and everything, but you eat their food and you have a sensible supper with high protein. And I lost about 80 pounds, 85 pounds
Yeah.
in a very short time. Worked out with my trainer, had beautiful muscles. I mean, it was beautiful, but I'm still a big girl, so I was still as big, and was running on a treadmill. That was scary for everybody. Boom, boom. But that's when we found out about the cancer.
You were, like you said, you were healthy.
Right. I had spent I worked at the Boys and Girls Club for 7 years. I'd spent the 6 years previous, I'm going to be teaching this, blah, blah, by the time my kids were juniors in high school. My oldest was a junior in high school. I was living the healthy lifestyle that the boys and girls expect the children to live. And my board of directors was amazing. They let me come in an hour later. So I wasn't there at 8 o'clock on the dot. Went at 9. So I could go work out with a trainer because fitness is part of our doctrine at the Boys and Girls Club. work out with a trainer and be at work, dressed, makeup, hair, and back then we wore pantyhose. I put those pantyhose on too, with my high heels, on days that I would meet with donors,
Right.
or my hair in a ponytail and tennis shoes during summer camp when we were with those kids
Oh,
24/7.
yeah.
So I'd already started the lifestyle. I'd already stopped eating things that were not healthy
Right.
and were not contributing to my health. But
That doesn't go away just because we decide to start eating healthy and things.
that's why the trainer came.
There's repercussions
Mhm.
for what we've done. But let's recapitulate just a
Yeah,
little
go
bit.
back to what we were.
Let's go back to the fact that you get a diagnosis, you get a, a, a treatment plan. When do you see the oncologist?
So, okay, so I've talked to the doctor. I've had the surgeries to remove the lump.
Oh, you've already had the
I've had the surgery. You don't see the oncologist. This is the scariest part for anybody. Anybody. This is the scariest part. An oncologist will not see you for 4 to 6 weeks after you've had your surgery. They want you to be completely healed before they ever see you the first time.
So
It's scary as
our
heck.
oncologist is the first person you see to tell you that this is cancer and all the things like that.
That's either your family practitioner or your internist or your surgeon.
My
That's who tells you you
God.
have cancer.
And so it took how long before you?
I'm gonna say 4 weeks for me because I was Sissy Piku's sister.
Right.
But I've heard, depending on what kind of cancer. Again, I had a very aggressive cancer. Um, I've heard up to 8 weeks depending
Right.
on what kind of cancer and the necessary
I've heard
work.
people say the clock begins to tick. And if you deal with anxiety and things like that, God.
There's nothing you can do. I've called and I'm going to tell you, I searched for the right oncologist.
Mhm.
I love the oncologist that was my mother-in-law's oncologist and his nurse practitioner, um, Jennifer. You know who you are.
Yeah.
And they were amazing. But I just watched my mother-in-law. Took her to treatment once a week. I watched her pass away
Yeah.
in these rooms, and I just didn't want that baggage when I went. So I chose again a Christus Hospital, just like our Natchez Regional Medical Center hospital, and went to Shreveport. Found this guy, and what's amazing about it, you talk about signs and God showing you who you're
Yes.
supposed to be,
Yes.
because we haven't talked about that enough. Because
Yes.
almost every part of this journey, there was a touch about something God had
Yes.
done.
Yeah.
The oncologist that I had chosen just by reading the credentials and what I felt comfortable with had been my sister, Rebecca Morris, who lives in Alexandria's husband's little brother's roommate at LSU.
Come on. God can hook some things up. God can hook some things up, y'all. Now watch this. Let's go back a little bit further because we
I know I'm so
we all the way to
attention.
the treatment.
Yes.
But there's some other hurdles. How did you got two boys? How did you break the news to them?
Oh, see, it's still hard.
Yeah.
So, by the way, my kids hate to go to Chili's because that's where I told them.
Oh my God.
So the only times I ever cried, there were 2 times I cried. They were both at Chili's, and I'm crying because I love my children so much, right? And I hate to see them hurt. But I called them. Okay, they were in high school, right?
Yeah.
So the oldest, they both had driver's license, and they had a clunker because you buy a kid a clunker so they learn how to work on a car, and they needed that. So I called the school and I told them, "Hey, we need y'all to let our students come and meet us and when they get there, tell them to call me on the phone." I didn't tell them to meet us at Chili's or anything.
Right.
You can't do that, by the way. I work at Natchez Central High School. This is something I have to let you know. You must come and sign your child out or send a note with someone who will be signing your
But
child out.
this is a different situation.
So I called, and they sent them, and they got on the phone. I said, "Come meet us at Chili's," and we're sitting at Chili's. And they're like, "Why are we eating here?" I'm like, "Oh, I just want, I miss y'all. We're just talking." They're like, "So, we don't."
Is Daddy there?
Dad, yes, of course, Gunner's with us. My husband's Gunner Berenson. Um, and we had also been at Chili's when we told them about my mother-in-law having cancer. So again, it's just the place we go. So you're in a spot where you can't go into your room and get on your phone and ignore what just happened.
Like it's almost like my dad would always. I knew Dad was about to tell us something because he would take us to go out and eat, and that's when he would have to chastise us about something, or we knew it was very important what he was going to say. But go ahead.
Well, I just needed to have them as an audience where they're not going to be on their phone, they're not going to go into their rooms. So, um, this is the Friday before I started chemo on Ash Wednesday.
Wow.
And so you talk about how all these things for God being part of it. And again, I'm Catholic, so Ash Wednesday means a lot to me.
Yes.
Um, and we said, Gunnar goes, my husband was on the verge of tears the entire time.
Yeah.
And my
He's a
husband,
gentle giant.
I am so blessed.
Glad he's a gentle giant.
I mean, somebody looks at him and they're afraid of him.
Yeah.
He loves his wife and his children and his German Shepherd.
Yeah.
But he says, Mom has something she needs to tell you. And I looked at them and I said, hey guys, you don't need to worry. It's going to be okay. Everybody has said it's going to be okay. But I start chemotherapy because I have cancer on Wednesday. And, my children are analytical. My youngest is on the spectrum. So they had all these very pointed questions about science and what's happening. And fortunately, I told
the same way.
fortunately I had that tablet I told you about,
Yeah.
and I had gotten all the answers. So what any question they had, I could answer that question for them.
That's great.
And that's what kids need. They don't need it'll be okay and then walk away. They really want the answers that we have. And if we don't have the answers, we need to tell them we don't know either. Let's go look it up together.
Right.
And they did have some questions that I did not know the answer to. And so I said, let's go look it up together. Because quite frankly, all of us have an Encyclopedia Britannica in our
Right.
hands.
And so now this is a family affair.
Yes, but it gets even better than that.
Yeah.
Okay, so my children, I said, you can't tell anyone. I haven't told anyone. I had not told anyone.
Now your sister,
My sister, the doctor,
right?
but I didn't tell her. Yeah.
Does she tell?
Okay, how amazing is this that she kept that so that it could be a special thing. I kind of do want to say this. The day I had my needle biopsy, my son's best friend's mom called me. Bear, my oldest child's best friend, called me and said, she goes, hey, what are you doing? I said, I'm on my way back from a doctor's appointment. And she goes, me too. And before she could stop herself, she says, I have cancer. Talk about God. This is another God moment. And I couldn't tell her yet because I had not told my children yet.
Right.
And I said, have you told Ben? That's her son, who was Bear's best friend. And she goes, no. And I said, don't tell anyone else until you've told Ben and Ben.
Yeah.
They were in school together. I knew that she had told because they were in class.
Right.
And I said, and please. And so she was who I looked to how she did it. And she called me later and told me how she did it. I said, just don't tell anybody. I didn't tell her I had it immediately. I did tell her that same day that I told my children.
Right.
So she did know. I'm sorry, siblings, but it's because she was giving me all this stuff and all this information about what her journey was. And I was learning about what I wanted to do too.
And the more you learn about the big C and the particular one that you're dealing with, the more you're equipped to fight.
Again, breastcancer.org is the way to go.
Yeah.
There is so much crazy information out there. I can't tell you the different things they were telling me to do, and I wouldn't have to, if I just ate certain ways, I wouldn't have to go through chemo. Well, no, this is the one thing
Yes.
for me, for my survivorship, the only way I was going to survive for sure, where 0%
Right.
not to survive, was to have this particular chemotherapy with radiation.
Right.
So, we'll go back. We're going to roll back to telling
Let's
people.
take
Okay.
another break
That'd
and
be great.
come back because I want to listen. This is probably a 2 hour show.
Oh, just about
And this-
anything.
yeah,
We can talk about anything.
but we'll be right back. Yes, indeed.
Just trying to take over your home.
So, did y'all have anybody come and talk about the Natchitoches Citizens Academy?
Self-comfort.
Oh yeah. She just told me,
Easier.
she just told me that she was a part of the academy to see how that stuff really works.
Well,
So you can
I've learned some stuff.
tests are gone for good. Take back.
I knew a lot of it just because I'm active. I pay attention. One of the things I don't think they go over enough,
Pest management. Eliminate the problem.
and I love that Lieutenant Hyman said something, that we do have some bad actors out there, and some of them that'll pull
And
us.
some know the system and they know how to play the system.
Right. And I love that yesterday that she did that, because that made me respect her more, because she could have just whitewashed it and not done that.
Did it.
Yeah. That was yesterday, y'all.
That
Y'all
was
did.
Last Tuesday.
We're gonna do it today.
Y'all go Tuesdays. Oh, I think I did Tuesdays too down in
Alexandria.
Alexandria.
My sister Becky told me, "Oh my God, you're gonna love it."
I put that thing on. Did they put that thing on your finger? That say that. Oh, they say I'm gonna ask you a question in just a few minutes.
And we haven't done
They
this
say they put that thing on my finger.
lie detector.
All of a sudden, no, it wasn't no lie detector. It was something that caused your heart rate to go up. And we are back. Turn me up a little bit. So we're taking the treatment. We've told the no.
Wait, we haven't got to the treatment yet, because I've only told my children.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it showed your siblings. Okay.
So this is a really beautiful story.
Mhm.
I called my family and asked them all. I'd lost both of my parents at this point. And I asked my siblings, "Hey, can y'all please come? We need to. I need to talk to y'all."
Mhm.
And the best time that they could do it was the Sunday before Ash Wednesday in
And you got
2017.
5 other siblings.
I have 6 other siblings.
6 other siblings.
Right.
Okay. So 7 of you all.
There's 7 of us. There's 2 boys and 5 girls.
Okay.
My daddy had a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, hey, we
So-
6, 3 and 3.
Yes. So, my sister Lala, I did not even tell her.
Okay.
My sister Lala, the judge, is
Right.
very good about calling around and finding out what the scoop is. And my
Mhm.
sister Sissy did not tell her anything.
Wow.
So there were several things that were being thrown around. None of them positive.
Right.
But none of them was that I had cancer.
Wow.
And so when I sat down with them and Gunnar, Lala made this beautiful meal for us. I can't remember what it was. I want to say spaghetti, but I'm sure that that's not what it was. She's an amazing cook. And we're all sitting around the table that was made specifically for our family, that used to sit in our family home
Okay.
that Lala has now. And we're all sitting on the benches and on either side. And my husband puts his arm around me and we say, "We have something we need to tell y'all." And Gunnar looks at me and I look at him, and everybody else is like, "Oh." And I go, "I just want to let y'all know I have cancer." And all their faces dropped.
Yeah.
And I come from everyone in my family is college educated.
Yeah.
Graduated from college. And every one of them cried because they knew
Doctors,
what
lawyers.
right, doctor,
Yeah.
CPAs, yeah, every one of them. And they all, and I'm going to tell you, everybody, it all meant a lot to me. Every one of them meant
Yeah.
so much to me. But the one that surprised me the most was my oldest brother, who does not show. If y'all know Jack Jr. or
Yeah,
Fred, that we
yeah.
affectionately call him,
Yeah,
it's not an. The only emotion he shows is "Woo, let's go,
yeah, yeah,
let's go, demons, fork them."
yeah.
But I'd never seen him cry,
Mhm.
and he's the only one who broke down and
Yeah,
huffed crying.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think it's because it reminded me of my mother.
Yeah.
And he was concerned for me. And I said, there's no need that anybody needs to be concerned until we need to be concerned,
Mm.
which is something that my parents would have said to us is like, we're not going to wallow in this. We're not going to think anything. We're going to follow the doctor's advice and it's going to be okay. And that's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
But that meant it was the fact that they all made an effort. Like I had siblings traveling from several hours away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So that support system
right.
is so important.
Right. My
Yeah.
sister Cookie could not make it. She lives in Nashville. So we put her on Zoom
Come on.
and
Thank God for technology.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And she got to be part of it too. But it was the first time since my dad had died a year earlier
Right.
that we had been together this way, that we had a family situation that needed each other's love
Right.
and not some kind of business
Right.
discussion to have.
Right.
And I really want to say that again, God works for us. This was part of the healing process of big families.
That's right.
When you see a family member suffering,
Right.
you all stop what you're doing and stop thinking, where am I in the hierarchy in the family? What's going to happen next? Who needs to do what? And what can I? It changes what to this. What do we need to help?
Yes. Yes.
And so I told them it was beautiful.
Closely knit family.
It was beautiful. I mean, it was much more than anybody could ever hope for when they want to tell their story about telling your family.
Yeah.
Of course, my children were amazing, but this was the one that surprised me.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
just blown away. Was not the support I wasn't surprised by, but the way that they were so worried about
But
me.
when you're professionals, a lot of time professional families is almost like, hey, we've been through this before. Just like with my family, when my sister was diagnosed with cancer, you know, we've been everybody else.
Right.
We've been there
You know
for
what to do, right?
everybody else.
Right.
But when it came to family, we never, never, ever lost a family member. And that was hard.
It is
That
hard.
was really
Did you lose her?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. That's my oldest sister. That was really, really hard. And when she came to me and told me about it, she broke down and started crying. And I told her, we gonna get through this. I told her we're gonna get through it. By that time though, COVID hit. She was in New Orleans and she contracted the COVID. Her doctor had flown out of into some foreign country, and he's the one who
Wow.
performed the surgery, and he had COVID.
I'm
And
so sorry.
that's the and listen, my daddy never got over that. Never got over it. He's preached many funerals and things, but he never got over that particular thing.
You never do when it's your own family.
No.
And you know what? It doesn't even have to be your own family.
Right.
It's somebody
Somebody
who's
you just close
you
to.
know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You never get over it.
Yeah. And so let's we're
We're on another tangent here.
Yeah. We're
Let's wrap it up. Right.
no, I want to get to we have the surgery. We're now in remission. So
Well, I'm not in remission.
okay.
My cancer was not like those cancers.
Okay.
Mine was a contained cancer.
Mhm.
And I'm not a doctor, so I do not want to talk about what remission means. I was cured.
Cured. Okay.
But on my very first day, when I saw the doctor, he said, again, I had my little legal pad,
Mhm.
and he said, I can cure you of this until it comes back again. because and I don't know the statistics, but it's way up there.
Mhm.
If you ever have cancer, the statistics say be prepared
Mhm.
because you're probably going to get it again.
Mhm.
But we'll go back to the attitude is everything. I could worry about that every
Right.
minute of every day,
Right.
or I can go on in my life and say, hey, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's again God's way of talking to me.
But it's almost like too a person who says, I'm coming to your door and I'm gonna get you. And you're so frightened to hear that knock on the
Right.
door, or you say, well, when you come, I got something for you
Yeah.
too. You know,
Well, come on in, baby. We're
because
going to teach you about the Lord.
because because if the truth be told, all of us have cancer in our bodies.
Yes. We live with it.
That's
It's just
right.
how your body
Right,
attacks it.
right. But it's just a matter of time when the numbers get to where they can say, okay, well, you got cancer now. So the conversation is you got cancer. The conversation is you got cancer.
Mhm.
That's the difference.
Right.
I got cancer, but cancer ain't got to have
That's
me.
right. Right. I don't have
Yeah,
to do that.
that's right.
And I don't know where we were on that. Were we talking about where were we? Okay, I've had my okay. So I want to talk about the treatment.
Right.
I did the normal treatment, and the only time I cried,
Yeah, let's talk about
the
that.
only time I cried, and it was before I'd even told my children. I was on this ideal protein, healthy lifestyle. So, I was restrictive of calories. I'd lost 80 pounds. I looked good. I felt good. I was wearing clothes that I would never have fit in 20 years before that.
Right.
And we go to Chili's because we had gone to go see the radiologist. Now, you can go make an appointment to see the radiologist,
Yeah.
just not the oncologist.
Yeah.
Um, and it was the first person who said, um, you are going to lose your hair. Now, I'd seen 8 doctors before seeing the radiologist.
Yeah, yeah.
The
So
radiologist, who doesn't have anything to do with hair loss and chemo,
yeah,
said, I've never seen anybody with your diagnosis and who did what you're doing
Yeah.
not lose their hair.
yeah,
But
yeah.
every doctor up to that time, not everybody loses your hair. I wouldn't worry about that. Just don't even think about that. Well, he told me, and I was like, okay, okay. And I don't want to sound vain.
Yeah.
If y'all know me,
Yeah.
I may not show humility as much as I should because that's false because
Yeah.
my self-esteem can be very, very low.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of, I want people to know that I'm God's child and that
Right.
I am not going to let anybody, I'm not going to let my mood bring anybody else down. It's
Right.
not going to let that happen. So, oh my God, I forgot where we were. Oh, so I'm sitting in Chili's and I order my asparagus instead of mashed potatoes or rice or whatever.
Starches.
Right, no starches, but I did asparagus and I said, no butter, please. Just the thing that you order, right? All you dieters, you understand. And he brought it with butter on it. I just start bawling. Oh, you gotta take it like it is butter on it. So talk about not crying over the right things, right?
This is what caused this.
Yeah, it's all the butter's fault. But it really was because and this is something hard I'm gonna say. My mother and I were so much alike. She saw her faults in me,
Right.
and I embraced those and ran with them. My loud demeanor, my in your face, this is how great the world is. Um, anything that mom felt a Southern lady should be more demure, kind of be behind everybody,
Yes.
let someone else take the microphone, even if you have something better to say.
Yeah.
Well, that's my mother never would have been a shrinking violet.
Yeah.
But that's what she wanted for me to be. And that the only thing my mother ever complimented me was my hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that was the one thing
Kept it.
that I don't know, I lost it. I had, and in fact, I will share the picture of us on family vacation with no hair. Because at a certain point, you wear a wig for 6 months and you're hot. You
Yeah.
just take that off and you start wearing it. and I'm in Walmart and I'm looking for wax strips
Yeah.
because a friend of mine wants me to wax her eyebrows. And a little old lady says, I go, can you hand me those wax strips for hair removal? She goes, oh, honey, please don't remove any more hair. I didn't have eyebrows. I didn't have anything because chemo takes everything. There isn't a hair on your body.
Wow.
And my hair grew back beautiful.
Yeah.
It's great because
Yeah.
I'm 61, but I'm very, very happy. But that's the only time I cried. And I'm sorry that I feel like I am a human. I do
Yes.
hurt. And
So let's do life after cancer right quick.
okay.
What?
COVID. Okay. So COVID took, first of all, it became an empty nester a year after that. You have something to do when your kids are high school. I became an empty nester. I kind of wallowed a little bit in that empty nesting.
Right.
COVID hit. Everybody was so disgusting and still are on social media.
Right.
And I let it bring me down. I gained back all the weight that I had lost by the healthy lifestyle.
Right.
And just didn't take care of myself once COVID hit. I was pretty good up until COVID hit. And today, after COVID, I don't know what happened. Something spoke to me. I think it was, oh, I know exactly what it was. My brother Britt, died of ketoacidosis because he had diabetes, which, big ol' Eliza, her blood sugar is perfect because I don't eat junk. I never eat junk I don't eat junk now. Occasionally I'd have a drink that may have had sugar in it, but I don't even do that now.
Right.
But my super healthy brother died of ketoacidosis because of diabetes.
Yes.
And that was my wake up call. Like, hey, you can't wallow in other people's ugliness out there. This is God calling you back to be his messenger.
And you are.
I don't have a microphone like you.
Yeah.
I get to see, and I went back and I get to see children every day. And I get to see their parents, and I get to tell them how much I love them and how much I care about them. And that's my life after cancer.
Right.
And if and when it ever comes back, so what? We're gonna fight it. We're gonna use the choices that God has given me to make today better, and not to let cancer get us down.
Right.
But the best part about it, I'm gonna say, I know God, my purpose in life is children.
Yes.
And I may not be able to write a check for your charity, but if you call me, I'm going to volunteer for you. You just have to ask me, I'm going to volunteer
And
for you.
volunteerism is great. And so what would you have to say in closing for the people who have been diagnosed or they are in recovery?
There's so many resources out there. I fortunately had a great family and friend, my support. I don't know that if today, with my children not being active in a high school where I had all those parents that brought us food and gift cards so I could buy food. But here's what I would say that worked for me, for the other parents, that there are support groups out there.
Right.
They have weekly meetings, they have daily meetings, and now with Zoom, there are meetings probably every hour of the day.
Right. All over the country.
The other thing is, get healthy.
Yes.
And
that's what you're doing now.
And right. And even if it's not my food or my working out, getting healthy is this.
Mentally, yeah.
Mental health is the biggest thing on everyone's mind. Even our government is trying to govern mental health, which is crazy to me.
Yes.
But mental health has been around since Van Gogh. Remember, he cut his ear off. But it's important that humans have people to talk to.
Right.
And I'm not telling you to hire somebody to talk to. It can be your neighbor.
Human being. I don't want to talk to AI.
No, AI.
I want to talk to my friend.
You need somebody who, I don't know if y'all been watching lately, but the AI is backfiring on people who think they're experts and they use AI. And then somebody comes and said, that doesn't even exist. Why are you using this? And they're supposed to be this expert. So all of us have somebody. And if you don't have somebody, look me up. I'm Eliza Britton Berenson on Facebook. Message me, DM me. I will talk to you. Obviously, I can talk about everything. Reach out, because that is your number one killer right there, is that we don't talk to humans anymore.
That's right. And we don't talk to one another anymore.
Right? That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. And let me say this, Eliza, thank you for being my friend.
You're my friend too. I love you guys.
Listen, when I tell you she's my friend, uh, we ain't gonna talk about what we talk about all the time. But thank you for being a friend.
But
God
you
bless
do
you.
light up my life every time I see you. You know, I always have a big smile on my
Thank
face
you
when I
for
see you.
defending me all the time.
Well, your wife.
God bless you all. God keep you is my prayer. We love you, and you can't do nothing about it. No,
And that's me exactly. I'm sorry. I'm gonna love you whether you like it or
listen,
not.
listen. Uh, I'm gonna turn this off right quick. No, but
We'll make sure all of them are turned off.
yeah, cause
This is home for
'cause